pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for coming to the meeting. Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Barber.
Here.
Mr. Douglas.
Here.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. May. What are you doing with Mr. Irwin? Correct. Last time you're doing it. Mr. McDonald.
You guys got the wrong name tag.
Courtney, our water and sewer superintendent. Mike Farrell, our highway superintendent. Bob Winup, our zoning and building officer. Dave Gillette, our dog control officer. John Flynn, our youth director. Pamela Barber, our confidential secretary to the board. And John Ryan.
Nice. Miller. Or Ty Clerk. John Clerk. Okay. We're going to get right to the first thing of the night. Motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of July 13th. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that.
Second it.
Motion. Greg Bruno second. Any discussion? Looks good like always. Diane, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All 5 ayes to approve. Okay. Number 5, resolution discussion. Approval of AES Northeast Town of Peru wastewater treatment plant upgrades, disinfection control project agreement. It's what we've been discussing over the last 2 meetings. Matt said last meeting that we looked over it, everything looked good. Courtney, you have anything to add other than? No. Okay, so we can have the resolution. If we have any more discussion, we can talk about it. If not, then need the resolution, Diane.
A resolution approving the agreement with AES Northeast PLLC for engineering services for the wastewater treatment plant upgrades and disinfection system and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has an agreement for the wastewater treatment plant upgrades and disinfection system between the town of Peru and AES Northeast for engineering services for the town before it now. Therefore, be it resolved, said proposed agreement is approved and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute said agreement. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any discussion? Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Get into work.
Do we need a motion and a second on that?
I didn't.
Okay, so it's backwards. Need a motion to approve it.
Aye.
Jim made a motion, Jim Douglas.
Second. No.
Second, Nell. Now do roll call one more time, please.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, resolution discussion. Quote on town hall paver replacement out front. As we all know, pavers have been wearing, going down each time the winter with the salt. Courtney was great about giving us a couple of people to give us quotes, and whoever else helped on this.
That's the only person I knew of that
Yep.
does stamp and colored on pavement. I called Fuller's, they don't do it. I really don't know anybody else. Anybody knows. Your 2 prices. If you look at the one, the $5,247.64 is if you pay Northern to do everything. The other price quote, you see the $1,094.65. That's if we have in-house. If we do the sub base, you can deduct that much. If in-house we install the binder, you can deduct the 77776.
Yep.
And then
It would leave you to
they would do
31.
the 3106 and the 512.
Mike, is that something your boys can do?
Gotta talk a little louder.
Mike,
Sorry, I'm looking at my numbers here. I just figured out quick tonight, the gravel, the binder's $360, that's our cost. And the item 4 is $260 for a total of $620. The next thing is try to get one of our machines in that hole. It's pretty good.
So you'd be talking 620 for 1,094.
That's, yeah,
That
that's,
only leaves them $300 and something for labor, and on the other one, you're talking 360, which is 777, so you're only talking $300 and something. And we don't have a machine small enough to get in there.
the grade I'll definitely won't. The excavator, I could probably sneak it in there if I do it myself. And I'm not knocking anybody, but there's a lot of money sitting around in here, so. And that's not to brag myself up, but just, I don't wanna see the building get hit, somebody, it's tight quarters. It's gonna mark the driveway after we use the excavator. The only other option is to rent, and that's, if you rent something smaller, it's probably gonna wait your thing up.
So in all reality, you're talking, say $900, I'm just adding up real quick, $900 savings, but it's still, you're gonna have to do it and all that.
No. That's, well, I didn't figure the digging out because of me.
Exactly.
The 620 is for the binder and the item 4. That's no labor or anything.
Yeah,
That's
what I'm
just what
saying.
it's gonna cost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so it's really not a heck of a lot of savings to have you try to do it and not have the right equipment to get in there.
But it's up to you. I mean, I don't mind doing it. It's,
by the time we fool around trying to hit guys at a job. But that, I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
I don't think it makes a lot of sense to save $800, and that doesn't include his labor. That doesn't include his labor, his machines, anything. So, my feeling is, let them start from scratch to finish
Yeah.
and do it. You know, the money in the building account, we got plenty in this account to do that. We did the roof, we can do that, so that'd be my thought, but.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Brandy. I'm always like to have one person do the whole job rather than somebody take over from where somebody else left off, and then he has issues with the first guy, and next thing you know, there's more. It's just a lot easier if one guy does the whole thing and does it right and correct.
well, that was one of the issues I was gonna bring up. We did the binder, and it's off,
Yeah.
or we're getting an argument over if something settles is the only thing.
Yeah.
Or if he does everything.
Yep, from start to finish, and there's no, yep, I
We're
agree.
not talking a lot.
And he
Yeah, I
will.
figured it out.
So Mike, or Corny, which one are, from start to finish, which one would we be going with? The 52?
52, 47, 64.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but it says the color won't be put on until 4 to 6 weeks after. They said it has to sit before they can color it.
Yeah.
If you do color it though, does that have to be redone every year or?
Probably not every year, but
It's gonna be done right every 3 years.
it's not a one-time.
Not this whole amount, obviously, just the coloring.
Right, right.
Yeah, just like someone black.
What do we have for a choice?
Well, that I don't know yet. I figured if this is the route we want to go, I can find out from in patterns. This covers one pattern, right? Street, texture. I assume they have a choice, and then a choice of colors.
Okay.
Do they seal the color after, or just color it and let it?
I think the coloring is just like a driveway sealer, isn't it? It's spray it on, it's just not black.
And they do two times each though.
Yeah.
He does it twice.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with this, it sounds cool to me, but cool.
I'll make a motion to go with estimate C4545.
I'll second that.
Which is the amount of 5247.64. I'll make the motion, Rick second. Any more discussion? Roll call, Diane, or not roll call, but resolution.
A resolution accepting the Northern Blacktopping Company proposal for removal of existing paver blocks and the installation of armor coat and screen print texturing on the Town Hall Plaza area. Whereas the town board has deemed necessary for safety purposes the removal of the deteriorated paver blocks and installation of blacktop armor coat, and street print texture. Whereas the town board has decided that the proposal of wood black top fits into the repairs required for safety. The removal of paver blocks which are currently in need of repair now therefore be it resolved that the town of Peru accepts the proposal of Northern Blacktop for the installation of blacktop and street print texturing at a cost not to exceed $5,247.64, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Marwood?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
The next one,
Number 7, I just want to go grab the package that was left in my office for the price. Okay. Okay, so we're over to number 7. Have a resolution discussion tonight, or we can just have discussion tonight for an IT service provider. As we all know, Tom retired and we've been looking for an IT company this time. We've been getting people, 15 hours an hour and stuff like that, but we've never had a company. 7 years ago, we looked at a couple companies. They were in the $60,000 to $70,000 range to service a town of our size back then. It was a Cadillac plan, that we wanted. Like we asked for, we asked PrimeLink, we asked Twin State. We reached out, we've had meetings with them, me and Pam, and Tom, our other IT person that we had meetings with both companies. PrimeLink had a presentation tonight that they wanted to do before the meeting, which we've seen for people that weren't here. We had an hour presentation before what they would provide with a Cadillac service that they provide a monthly fee. Twin State, we've had one meeting, sit down with Pam and Tom. I've had phone calls to them back and forth. I called Kyle on Wednesday, told him we're getting towards the end of the month because we did hire Mr. Barber to the end of the month because Tom was done at the beginning of last month, so we have an intern right now with Jason Barber right now. And we knew that's going to run out at the end of the month. So Kyle finally got back to us on Thursday, sent an email. It's in your package, right from Kyle to Pam. I didn't get it, and Pam called me, said she got it. Just saying basically at this point, this is his words, at this point we're not prepared to offer an ongoing management system service to you guys at this point. More or less, if you go back to his next pages, it was a monthly retainer. You give them $2,500, you give them $5,000, you give them, I'm just throwing numbers, $1,500. It basically comes out to $155 an hour. You figure that out, it adds up fast if we have problems like we've been having. And obviously we know in this presentation some of the problems, why we're having some of the problems, what PrimeLink was able to see in the background of everything by just going in without passwords to what I'm saying. PrimeLink today gave us the presentation. They told us at the end we need a new server in here, we need a new UPS, we need a lot of stuff. They basically would give us $11,600 in equipment that we need right up front, and they would charge us if we signed a 3-year agreement for $24.99.95. That's a month. That's a service agreement that we asked both companies to provide. They provided it, and like I said, in the email from Kyle at this point, they're not ready to prepare to do that right now. And they both knew we need some by the end of this month. So we do budget $30,500 a year for internet, for fixers or work or hours or anything to do with that. We do provide $30,500. That was, I figured it up earlier. It was $29,951.40 this package would provide. We do have, right now, left for this year, we have $20,587 left in there right now. So we have plenty to cover with the you know, the big amount that went out the last month because of our problem that we've had.
Yeah, we're only paying by the month anyway.
We're only paying by the month, but we do have plenty in there to cover for the end of the year, and we have next year, we already have that amount budget, you know, so.
I thought it was a really informative presentation. I think they're on the ball with everything, and I think it's really a necessity for us to move ahead with it.
I think it was an awful eye-opener.
Yeah.
It was an eye opener, absolutely.
I don't think that we really,
It's pretty scary.
after you hear them, I think that, that's the.
Yeah, I don't think the individual person is working out for us as much as these guys would really, they're on top of the game.
They gave a great presentation, and like they said, they will come and sit with every employee, and I agree 100% that we should have that, every employee come. They can come during the day, they can come in the afternoon, they can do it whenever is convenient for us.
Yeah.
We know what we get from them, it's a company that's been around, you know, and the biggest thing, what I love to hear, they do all our legwork. When something happens, if the internet's down, they call Verizon, they call, you know, whoever we have, they call Spectrum, they call, you know, they do all the legwork. We need new computers, we need new this, we need new this, they do it all.
I mean, I think it's gonna save Dan tons of time for one thing, she's always calling these people steady.
In the court, obviously, we always have problems, and it's no one, you know, not at the court itself, but we always have problems, and that's a crucial thing when the court's down on a Tuesday, and that's where Premier League will step in and do all the legwork.
What did you think about it, Dan, being one that's on the,
I was extremely impressed, and I would absolutely love to have this happen because it's just, it's ridiculous.
yeah, it's overwhelming for you
It
to
is.
see, it is
You know, and
really.
it's like you worry about it day to day whether something's gonna go wrong.
Like, you're the IT person, everybody's calling you too.
And I'm not one.
Neither am I.
And when you see what you could be liable for, that's
And-
pretty scary,
Yeah,
honest.
it
I
is,
mean,
you know, I mean, and there's.
We never realized that.
Right, and there's stuff that, because I do all the HR and all of that,
Yep.
I mean, there's stuff, like they said on my computer, that I would never, I know it's on our Logix program.
And you're thinking you're doing the right thing.
And you're thinking
You are,
safe
but at the
and
same
sound.
time,
Yeah, I mean,
he can go in there and he showed, I mean, obviously, don't
You're running
help too
everywhere.
much, John, but I mean, he showed where he can go in there and see every single thing that's in
Oh,
there, everything.
and
And
it's
here we
like,
thought we were protected.
Can you clean up the icons on your desktop?
That bothers me.
At least,
Bob's got a question.
So, can we have, or do they provide a number when we're having an issue that,
We have the cell phone numbers.
okay.
But they actually see the issue before you.
They will
call
see
them?
the
Generate a
issue,
ticket essentially
they
or
will
something
see
like
the
that?
issue immediately. And it will kind of,
if it's critical,
Yep,
where you're dead in the
20
water,
20
then
minutes.
they'll be here. If it's not critical, if it's something that can
Okay.
wait, then they'll be here within,
24 hours?
okay, no, I understand.
and if it's not critical, more than likely, it's something that we can handle like we have before.
we don't actually have to, and I don't want to backstep that, but we don't have to handle them.
No.
Right,
They
right.
take care of everything.
they take care of
There's
everything.
no more on you. I mean,
Nice.
as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to.
Yeah, I think we should move forward with the resolution.
And their second-hand man lives right across the street, so like
Yeah.
Ryan was saying, something happens, he can come right over here in the afternoon or night or weekend, he lives right across the street. Yeah, so that's good to know too.
You would have been amazed at what we saw.
Well, just from what I saw, I mean, the last 10 minutes, yeah.
And we will all sit down and
Very
have that
professional.
meeting again with them. I would like them to go over that important part, like I said, in the end of what we've seen,
Okay.
and different
So,
things.
if I can, I don't know if this has occurred to other folks that are on the town. I have been getting some emails from, so stuff's been getting through.
Oh,
You know, the Nigerian
Oh.
stuff been coming through, so,
He showed us a live map
Oh, yeah.
of the attacks, and there was live of the attacks coming in and out
yeah.
of all the
Yeah,
countries.
I've been getting those.
Not that they're coming here,
Just receiving
but
missiles.
All
Yeah.
mine goes to my
You
junk
see it.
mail.
Huh?
Mine go right to my junk mail, they don't go into my inbox.
Mine?
Yeah, but.
Yeah, some is, but Randy, excuse me, Courtney, some have been actually making it,
Uh,
yeah.
But their system includes all the upgrades, all the security,
Okay.
all the monthly security, all the yearly security, that's all included in this package. Plus it includes a new server that we're gonna provide, $8,000, and a bunch of other stuff, up to $11,000 of stuff. That's part of this if we sign a 3-year contract.
Can I ask, Ben, where we are with obtaining some of the lost information? Do we know yet?
Pam can give you up with
Okay,
that.
all right,
Brian
thank you.
obviously primarily is hired, so he
Great.
couldn't go into that because obviously we haven't hired him yet.
Yep, I understand, thank you.
Or primarily.
But when we do, he will be able to.
Pam? Little update from Jason.
He says I went back through the files and need to coordinate getting the software payment info to recover the files. About 2 hours of work remains recovering and organizing the data. My Fuel Master program is getting installed on Carlene's computer within the next few days. I've been putting together a list of recommendations that the town should do in order to lessen the chance of this event happening again. There are also some severe issues that need addressing security-wise. I am unsure if the town is required to pass any security-related audits, but given the current condition of access and the network, I can't imagine an audit going well. Given my experience, I feel that the town's server configuration definitely needs some work. There's no redundancy on the server itself, and if there's a disk failure, servers will fail to the point of not being able to be recovered. Backups are another issue that needs to be addressed. I can further break out that issues and the others by the end of the week.
That's exactly what it goes into.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that story of what Brian was
Yeah,
telling
he
us.
He
And,
didn't know.
so,
You see how he scored the 97 on that
Yeah.
and the good score.
so that's where Brian, obviously, a company comes into play that knows what they're doing. Here, we believe we are good. You know, everyone does until something happens.
At the moment, all the passwords are on the server and unencrypted. So,
I think we should start, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to have a motion.
Let's go forward with the resolution.
Yeah.
All right. Put it in the name, put it in the name, the amount, and let's pass it.
So I need a motion and a second for the resolution to hire PrimeLink as an IT server for a 3-year contract at, $2,499.95 per month.
$24.99.95.
Yep,
I already made the motion.
for a 3-year contract.
Yep.
I'll second.
You made the
Who
motion?
did, who do you think?
Craig made the
He
motion.
said it before you.
No, second the motion. Motion,
First second.
no second. And Diane, fill that blank in for PrimeLink and the amount, and we gotta go over the resolution tonight.
The resolution accepting the PrimeLink proposal for managed service provider of computers and networks for the town of Peru. Whereas the town board has deemed it necessary for the town of Peru to hire an IT managed service provider for the town of Peru servers, computers, and networks. Whereas the town board has decided that the proposal of PrimeLink best fits in with the needs of the IT management. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Peru accepts the proposal of PrimeLink for the installation of the software and or hardware and on-site service for the continuity, my glasses, continuity of our computer system at a cost not to exceed $24.99.95 per month with a 3-year contract. This contract will commence on August 1st, 2020 through July 31st, 2024. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any more discussion? I think we've had a lot, and I think it's the best move that we have done as a town for our security and everyone, all the computers.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. You. Good. It's like a sigh of relief right there, I tell you, from everything we've seen and just.
Yeah, I'm looking to start tonight, like you know.
I know.
I probably won't sleep tonight.
I know.
That's scary.
That's the biggest thing, is none of us are IT people. I mean, we try our best to do what we think is right, and but you get a company that can go in and
Into everybody's computer from here.
Yep. Yep, so. Okay, so they're gonna start on the 1st of August. Okay, so moving on. Number 8, zoning code updates. Bob.
So, a couple things. I forwarded you the draft for the solar law, solar energy local law. Big thanks to those folks that took better notes than I did. Mark Hamilton was very good.
Very good.
And so, as far as update to the zoning code, Matt and I met. There's other things in here, to be frank with you, I just haven't had time to go through. Some things, one is a sign ordinance, and that's basically changing the last paragraph in the regs that say that, that the code enforcement officers can issue the permit for the signs instead of going to the planning board. If you remember Kevin Susha speaking to the board and asking that every other town just allows the code officer. It would still be, when we have new projects, the sign can, will still be in with, the planning board could certainly look at the new signs, but as far as replacement signs and then,
I agree.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
agree.
The other thing, when Matt and I met last week, was he feels the definitions in the zoning code should be in the say section 2 after the forward. And there's a few other things that I'm working on. I have it in the Word, and I just need to cut and paste it and pass it around, and hopefully I'll have it done this week and we can review it again. But as far as this local energy law, that's complete, the solar law, and
Good.
we have to do the public hearing, but again, it should be all done at once, right?
So we'd like to get the public hearing done as soon as possible, so what do you think, another week or two?
Yeah, I should definitely have it for the next meeting, the zoning code update for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
And the same thing.
so we'll set a date for the next meeting for the public hearing.
Yep.
Yep,
You
yeah,
see where we're at, right?
yeah,
Go from there.
yeah, and Matt not being here tonight, I mean, he's gonna be our guide as far as doing the public hearing and stuff, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I have some of the changes made, it's just a matter of cut and pasting.
Matt did go to the Plattsburgh, somebody who applied for the
Yep.
solar, and
Yep.
he said this was so great, the guy that applied. He
Yeah,
said
I
it
mean-
made it so easy, so what we have is really good.
The other thing that has to change is with this, is in the land use code table, we need to insert where, I mean, it spells out that it can only be in a rural district and or, APA or IC districts. So we'll just put that in the land use code table, insert it in there. Okay.
Thank
That
you.
would be for tier 3 and tier 4 projects.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, and thank everyone else involved with that.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
That's pretty fun. All right.
Okay. Number 9, sewer project update. Courtney, anything to mix in the mess on this?
Not much. I talked to her today. We're still on schedule for October. Of course, this is all hinging too on the deal with the church. I mean, he is moving forward with the redesign, so hopefully we don't have any issues. Jimmy talked to me today. Seems like everything's going good. Hasn't gotten a response back from DOT on their second set of comments, I believe. So still waiting on that. Still moving. Everything's moving forward. I don't know if you want me to just cover the other projects.
Yeah, if you want to, send all the business, do it now.
Right. I'll just do it.
If it's do with water, sewer and all that.
Water plant, we do have the backwash lagoon cleaned out, the materials on site drying. I am working, Jim and Jocelyn went and met with a company on filter cloths, and we're gonna clean a filter cloth across the effluent on the one end to see if that helps with our issue, and that was in our response letter to the EPA, which that letter has been sent, excuse me. So we're gonna put a filter cloth berm. Hopefully that'll help keep some of the floating chemical back and help with our dissolved aluminum issue. We're gonna get one backwash pit done this year and see how that works. That's gonna be a solution. The village plant, they are working on it, but we really haven't done much with it. We've for Valcor, we've been doing some flow readings with a second flow meter just to check it against ours. I asked them to look at UV disinfection rather than chlorine, because we're still struggling. I'm still in non-compliance, because we still get our chlorine spikes. The problem with UV is that the cost is gonna be easily over $100,000. Our grant with the Lake Champlain Grazing Program is only $20,000, and that's split with the village plan. So we're gonna look at the options of being able to put the manhole in with the partial flume and maybe just do dechlorination tablets for now. So I have that flume in there for in the future, we'll be able to slip the UV in at that point.
Good idea.
Unless, I haven't really looked at what the debt is on Valcor, if it makes sense to go right to UV now, but at least with UV, we can do away with chlorine. You know, that's one chemical gone. Yeah, our electrical costs are gonna be up, but you're not dealing with a chemical and you're not dealing with a chemical to take that, your residual. You know. If we use dechlor tabs, it's another chemical and I'm sure another test.
Would that by any chance be a situation where we can use the solar down there?
Use what?
Solar to fight off the electrical cost?
I don't know.
Probably.
I think your investment in solar would be quite pricey.
All depends if you
Then
get
the
a
next
grant.
thing too is the electrical service.
And that's it, the grants are out there for solar, clean energy, you know?
Yeah, the electrical service down there too is getting to the point it's gonna need to be upgraded. The chlorine in that building eats everything, all the metals rusted,
Absolutely.
corroded, you know. I hope eventually we can go to UV and get rid of the chlorine altogether. But the electrical panels are all rusted in there, they're due to be replaced.
It's crazy. I painted a house with a hot tub, man, and all the outlets, receptacles were just corroded crazy.
Yeah, anything near it,
Yeah.
eats it right up. But they have been down there numerous times, taking some pictures, looking at the mechanicals, the flow meter. And they actually want to meet. Greg asked, like I sent text everybody if you wanted him tonight, but he would like to meet with the board to go over the projects and to go, especially to go over with the report that they have done for Valcor, because DEC's asking for it, and he'd like to present to you gentlemen before he sends it to DEC.
Okay.
So
You wanna do it before a meeting?
yeah, maybe a workshop before the second meeting. He
August
can't make the next one,
August 24th.
but
So you want it?
Does it need a full hour?
I will find out.
It's 5 o'clockers or hard. No, it's a little longer than others.
You want to base out 5:30?
So you're gonna have enough time.
5 o'clock,
I
5
know.
o'clock, Randy.
Let's do 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So I will need a motion and a second to hold a workshop on August 24th at 5 o'clock before our next, not our next, our second town board meeting in August.
I'll make a motion.
So Rick made the motion,
I'll second.
Nell second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we have set up a workshop with them August 24th at 5 o'clock.
Did we discuss it?
Let them know that.
So we discuss it.
Our
You wanna do it on the
project,
desk?
sewer project.
No, he said he was not until the
Yeah,
second,
he'll
he
probably
can't make
touch
the
on
first
them all.
one.
Okay,
Um,
you missed that, so thank you.
Cool,
All
thank you,
right,
Courtney.
Keep on going, you're on a roll.
Okay.
You have your list done?
Yeah,
That's it?
yeah.
Okay.
I've got a
You
slow
can come back to other business if you need it. Okay, other business, we're downtown already. Rick?
I want to commend John and his boys over on the field at Sullivan, or at Lappin's Mills. They look brand new.
I want to thank you too and your buddy and everyone else for doing that other field and all that. That looks unbelievable. I haven't seen that field like that good when I was coaching because we just couldn't do anything. Yeah, it was awesome.
Very nice.
Yep.
On Lapin's Mills.
Any else, Rick?
No, I'm good.
Jim?
Yeah, well, just reporting back with the church to talk to my Moore and Brian, yes. Trustees are on board, pastors on board, the parish board's on board, Methodist conference is on board. The only one that's left is the Presbyterian conference. But, I mean, it's 99 cents 99%.
Good.
Good.
We're all set on that.
A lot of boards.
Sorry, dollar figure.
Yeah, they were fine with that, so it's just waiting out there.
We got 4 boards on board, 1 board more
Right,
left.
and, you know, the pastors on board, and the trustees, and very short.
Good. Did he say roughly how long?
No, I'm trying to pin them down
Okay.
because it's that other conference secretary, but I'll try to pin them down to it.
Thank you, Joe.
Because, you know, Greg would like me to know because.
Yeah, because of, I mean, we're moving in the right direction and we just hope it doesn't, we don't come to a stop like we did with the
No
other.
way, man, he told us October.
Yeah,
No, right.
cool. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Mel?
Just following up on that, Courtney, where are we at with easements? We had 2 that
Just write
were
that
still
down, Brenda. We have to redo them, so I don't know what, Matt's not here, I don't know what our schedule is.
I'd like to add to that. I got a hold of Larry Irwin up on the patent. Mr. Dobbs goes up there probably 3 or 4 times a week to visit. Larry told him we were trying to get a hold of him, and he has no problem with us with an easement. He was worried about the sidewalk in front of his house, and I said, don't worry about the sidewalk, you're gonna be getting a new one. So that was his only concern with us. So after he found out he's gonna be getting a new sidewalk, he's good.
Yeah, we got to redo all the temporary ones.
So he's gonna come out of hiding?
Well, that I don't know.
I don't think that's part of the project, but
Yeah.
they're putting the sewer main on the other side of the road, I believe. I have to look at the blueprints again,
It's just a small shed.
but,
But
We
there's
can-
quite a bit of legwork
we
in there.
can
doing
fix
all
that.
those.
and,
But if it's not being disturbed, then it's not an issue.
Right.
but also, we took out doing, I believe we took out doing the laterals out of the project. We're gonna have to pay for that some other way.
Well, there was,
Because by having them in the project, rural development wanted town to take ownership. And Matt and I both agreed that the town did not want to take ownership of the individual service laterals.
there was an issue, I guess, years ago, where sidewalk was done, or the paving was done over there on that street, and the water came off the street, it was crowned, it went right down his driveway, right into his garage. He doesn't want that to happen again. So what I said was, that whole road's gonna be ripped up anyway, and it's gonna be repaved. We'll make sure that you don't have a water problem going into your garage.
It's a tough call, his garage is downhill, man.
Straight.
Water runs downhill. I don't think it's a, I don't
If we
think
have to
it's a town's
disturb the
fault.
sidewalk for some reason, somehow, we know Courtney, you guys can do a sidewalk stuff. They did a great job right on Pleasant Street.
Right,
So,
so there is a
if
sidewalk.
we have to.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I think we can do everything, gotta make it work for him.
Yeah.
Anything else, Bill?
He's not contingent on that sign, correct?
No,
Well, that street's the first thing on the chopping block of rural budget, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig?
that's a bring
No, I don't have anything, thank you.
Bob?
obviously went over the zoning code.
Yeah.
Just throw some numbers at you. We are $9,500, approximately $9,500 up in permit fees from last year.
And whatever thought, but what it is everyone's doing all their projects at home.
That's what's happening. If people are using, there's, instead of taking a vacation or cruises or whatever, everyone's, so from swimming pools to decks to fences to, it all adds up.
$9,500.
$9,500, to this point right now, we're over $9,500 in increase in permit fees.
That's good.
Generated. Yep,
Keeps you busy now, I'm sure.
yep, pretty good,
Thank you.
okay.
Mike?
Okay, let's start out, this first one's kind of old business, but, School Street, met with Matt LaFay.
Aye.
Brandy's met with Dr. Palmer's on the drainage pipe for the rough drains. It's not ours. Brandy had to go see Fuller's for the plans, they do not have the plans. It was rough in 2004. They do remember putting the pipe in for the school, part of the project. which I knew because I was working for Fuller at the time. If you've been down School Street, I put a stake, put a paint mark, put a ribbon, that's our right of way, and that's clearly, that pipe is on the backside of it, so. You know, I know they wanted to work with us, see if we could. I can't spend taxpayers out of the highway budget for something that's.
Not ours.
Not ours, I mean, we helped them put shot rock in, Matt called me again, we Google mapped the pipe, and it didn't show a head wall, we put a head wall, really not a head wall, it's an anchor, because the pipe was floating right out of the ground, because the pipe is bigger than what should be there because for the cover. So the town at that point did do a little work to help them out, but that's beyond, that's washing into, a bus brook. As far as I'm concerned, as an Army Corps engineer is now, we're gonna stay out of there.
Does it have any issue with the end of the road at all? It's
There's
not-
gonna-
Not yet, but
It's
it's
going,
gonna.
it's going for a fact.
And Matt wanted to, as you see, Fuller's over there, they're doing paved thing around the school to plow. He wanted to swap that out and have Fuller fix the washout. Of course, he got overridden.
See, Dr. Palmer said to me, with a meeting we had here in my office, he said to me that the bond council for the capital project will not allow him to include that, but like I told him, until we have proof in hand, it's ours, which is, Mike is telling me, and Mike's met with Matt LaFave 3 times, and I told him, I said, we cannot take on a project, something like that could cost the taxpayer of the highway hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, if you go over there, you're gonna see what we're talking about. There's 15 feet of fence down in the thing, the whole bank's all caving in, it's 12 feet away from the road, so.
Yeah.
It's
8
gonna
or 9
eventually get
feet
there,
below the bottom of the pipe.
and the thing
Gone.
is, there was one heavy downpour that I got soaked going over there just to see how bad it is, and I'm gonna tell you, it's washing away, and it's only gonna get worse. And like Mike said, I mean, you gotta go in their gate to begin with, and there was a project that happened in 2004 with Fuller's, right, 2004?
Yeah,
With
roughly
Fuller's,
that.
and I asked him if he had any paperwork, and he said back then there was no good bookkeeping on their part, anything, but he did say that Matt did have some stuff that showed it was ours, but I was supposed to get that a week ago after our meeting, I haven't seen anything. And, I mean, we take responsibility where responsibility is taken, we always do as a town, but at the same time, we don't have, and I don't mean to say this the wrong way, we don't have a $40 million budget. We have a very small budget, and Mike does a great job with that, so. Until we see different or prove different, I mean, I'm obviously sticking with what Mike has, and he went and put a stake over there last week when he called me.
Has anyone been in contact with DEC? Because I'm sure that Bud Brook is a class CT stream.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, so that is,
The problem is Mike can tell you, they brought so many
Sounds like a code
cranes,
enforcement
and so much of the parking lots and everything else.
they all want to be.
They all run to it
DEC
now
contact them.
from their projects, and, I mean, didn't you say Mike even?
When do you think that a code enforcement officer should contact the DEC? Because, I mean, it's part of the town of Peru, you guys, we gotta do something about it. It's going into a brook in the town of Peru that affects other people.
I'm not sure where you want to
I
go.
think they should give them a call, DEC.
Then you're gonna get the.
I mean, if it was somebody else, a farm or something down the road that was doing it, it was his responsibility. It's part of the codes, I mean, it's not up to code, obviously.
We can look into that, or Bob can look into what should be done or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like Mike said, there's so much drainage going in there. Didn't you even say the roofs and stuff?
Yeah, they put that pipe in for the rough drains, and it was a year or two later. And problem the fire, we're going through building grounds people over there, the superintendent, they change every couple of years. They unhooked them, not knowing what then went to. It flooded that school. I mean, it come right across the stage and stuff, it blew up through all their drains and flooded it. So that's what I said, we could put 2 Daniel molds of dirt into that pipe, and they'll find where it comes from in a hurry.
Yeah.
So, not to beat around the bush, but that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have a problem with a pond by the tennis court that is flooding Jenkins Street.
From
Got put in and never checked with us, the highway, when it was way before me, but
Put it
trying
down.
to put all that water from all the primer, the bus garage to a 12-inch pipe that goes down through backyard to Jenkins. It's just can't happen.
Just put some dye up on that roof, right?
I can tell you, when it was pouring last week, I went up there and I'm telling you.
That's where it is.
Okay.
You know, I don't understand why they say the paper, it was Vernier and Carr, who was the architect engineer back then for that project. So they should be able to go back and get the drawings from them to see where the pipe is supposed to be and whose property it's
You would
on.
think.
The cost of
I
that
think they
kind of
know.
change might have paid for that hole in the wall.
They painted over my Indian.
They're gonna hang on that. They're
Yeah.
satisfied.
Yeah. I guess that,
So,
I guess that, we gotta move on. Right?
okay, I did approximately 2 weeks ago, in the executive highway meeting in Lake George. Tax cap is gonna be 1.56. The CHIPS update, it's still, right now, the state is still taking 20%. If we don't get any federal help, which the way Trump and Cuomo get along, I don't anticipate. Some of them towns have paid, they did 100% of the payment and they got paid. And the guy that does the lobbying for us couldn't believe it because he said, you realize they can come back in and take that 20% out of you. You're gonna have to write a check. But some of them towns, as that next guy, he's gonna pay 100%. I just, we can't take that chance. I'm not gonna overpay and then come ask you, hey, I need $50,000, $60,000. You can't take the chance. And that's what,
I'd rather
the guy
be
that does
safe
the
than
lobbying
sorry,
for
but
us,
you were
they're
telling
trying
us.
to tell us.
That would be safe than sorry.
Another issue that's gonna come down, you know, we all laugh about it at the meetings, but I got the paperwork, is the monarch butterfly. They're trying to put pressure on the towns, the counties, and the states to kind of better manage that, because what's gonna happen if not, they're gonna put in endangered species. With this monarch butterfly thing, I talked to Carl Weiss, because I met him last Thursday in Telegraph. There's a $15,000 permit fee. So they're trying to get the counties and towns to all get together and split this fee. What it is, if you want to do roadside mowing, all this, you're gonna have to get a permit. And some of these permits for contracts can take up to a year. They can gotta come out and do a study. So they're trying to get everybody to be a little steward, better steward. It's just getting one mandate after another. So
What is the
that's,
butterflies live in the ditches?
No, it's milkweed.
yeah.
No, it's a milkweed, right?
Yeah.
It's a milkweed that they,
I
yeah.
would, it's milk.
Grow a field of milkweed, so it helps out.
That's why I never made it out.
That's why I
Yeah,
think
just,
it's like a bat issue.
well,
It's the same
And
thing.
the last thing I got, I finally got a hold of Carl and we met last Thursday for Telegraph. The second, dip, not the one at Carl's Diet, that dip has to be a bridge, which we kind of figured. The street is on the outlet, it's like 25 foot. We're talking a 60-foot span. We would work with the county, but I think that's the best way to go. Like I talked to you last year, if it came to that, work with the consultants and their engineers, so we would front the money, and then we would sign the bridge over to the county, and then we'll all be gone by then when it needs to be replaced again, but, yeah, unless somebody claims on real.
Unless Irene 2 comes through.
The only thing with that, we would have to acquire 20 more feet on each side for the slopes and stuff, and have room, to do the bridge, and we may have to move some power wires. I am gonna call DEC. He wanted me to just go up, have them come down. We're not anywhere near shovel ready or anything like that. Just get a feeler out from them without going through the whole 9 yards and see if maybe they would let us get away without a bridge, but, like Carol said, he doubts it. So on the way back, we did stop to the 200-foot, 10-foot pipe by Carl Bags. He looked at that and he actually had a good idea. It's about putting a multi-plate in, which is a bunch of pieces you bolt together. Be a contractor. But he said he's actually looking to put both projects out at one time. Do the bridge first, get the bridge open, and do the pipe. And he said you'll get a better price. He just did that with 3 bridges, which Luck got. He got a better price on each because they were all in one, and then you're only dealing with one contractor because you're going to have to detour. The bridge, you're talking 4, I mean on good weather, 4 months, more than likely 5 months to do. Once they start, like you said, it's easy, because the bridge won't be back, because you're ripping the pipe out. There's nothing else to put back in the water. Once everything's out of the water, you're out. Your footings and all that, it's out. This arch, we would go through Vigor Supply, or I'm gonna get a hold of the consultant. If this arch will work, he suggested what he did, what a couple of them that they did last year. They went ahead and bought the pipe, the county did, so that was already paid for, and the only thing we had to do was, when they bid it, just everything's here at the yard, come get it, put it in. They're talking a month to do that. The only question we gotta see, because it's so deep with the arch, if it'll support the weight, because there's quite a bit of dirt over that. And of course, that would have to have a bypass, and we'd have to go through the Army Corps. He suggested once we get a little more leg room, to have a workshop, sit down with the board, he could come, and invite the public, if we can ever open the town hall up again, this virus thing goes away, and see that.
What's the severity and the time limit on this? Are we in a big rush?
It's, the bottoms are gone. It's, I can't give you time, we went up to the second one where the bridge is gonna go, we had a 5-foot hole there, straight down. We were lucky, it was just about the white line, we filled it, it settled some, but it stayed there. Yeah, you know, I walk at least once a week and check it. But if you remember right, on Fuller Road, which is almost, well, that's where they go through the one replacement. A car went through one day and the bus stopped, because there was a hole right underneath it, that went right down, I forget how many feet there. That's the only thing, I don't want to.
You don't know.
We don't want to play Russian roulette with bus full of kids either. so.
You put a weight limit on the road now?
Oh, you don't.
No, I don't think so. He didn't suggest that at this point. Because it's just the bottom kind, the sides are good.
Okay.
But if it gets to that point, well, definitely, look at that, every other day or so, at least once a week.
Keep going forward with it, and bring us
We do
updates.
that, so
Thank you.
that's where we are at that. We did pave Jarvis Road. We were supposed to do rain all last Thursday, but we got over an inch of rain. That's scheduled for Wednesday, this week, 50% chance of rain, so it's gonna be heavy because we're gonna tack coat. I want to tack coat Jarvis just because of where the farm traffic turns. It will stop the road from rolling, but we're getting backed up. Lloyd is headed for Sturgis, so I'm trying to knock this off, and when he goes back, he's got a quarantine for 2 weeks, so the Barney downtime may end up hiring part of it. I don't have anybody else in the favor. And we're gonna be in the school, depending on what school does, that's gonna, if we may end up hiring the bottom anyway, just by step, because it's so wide. Where they could do, you know, even if they paid to the top of the hill, and then we could do the rest, it's wide there, we would have to make 3 passes. I don't really like the idea of 3 seams. We are still gonna do the seam from the barn down to his driveway, jump on the other side, we can do that. And we may do the whole thing, it just, we gotta play out, and we gotta still somehow get the whole table and do theirs too.
So when somebody quarantines, do they take personal time on it?
They gotta use their
They have
time.
to. They have to, if they go to a state or a gathering of that's as big as Sturgis is, they have to use their own time because that's knowing and willingly going to a state to come back. If you were in the state and all of a sudden it turned red, that's not your fault. We would have to give them a week and they would have to take a week. There's different rules of everything, but if you knowingly, willingly go to a red state or a gathering of that sort, then you have to take care of it.
It seems like it's kind of bad judgment for highway superintendent deputy to make this happen at this time of year. I wouldn't want to say somebody can't go on vacation, but I mean, 3 weeks is 3 weeks, you know?
Well, I don't think, as far as the issue, I don't think he planned on being quarantined because it wasn't
Right.
a hot state. But I got thinking about it, I was at the doctor today and I asked a question. It's not so much if it's a hot state, it's everybody's coming from there.
Right.
Well, they come from all over the country over there. You know, he's got all the money spent, so he's gotta go, but he's home for 2 weeks, so he's gonna be gone a month.
Are you working on getting somebody else to run that machine too?
I don't really have anybody else, that's the problem. I could probably jump on it, but then I can't control the blacktop and the trucks, and it's too much. I need to be on the side of that. You know, I did think of trying one of the young guys up there, but I don't know.
What's the dates?
But, I think it's the 6th through the 16th he's gone, or something like that.
Of August?
Yeah.
It's coming up fast, so it ain't nothing you can get done before.
No. And I talked about it already today. We're gonna get Brand Hollow done, because that's just the one spot where it's milled, it's off the turnpike, it's 50 miles an hour. That's what I was worried about. Barney Downs, I'm not so much worried because where it's milled, it's at an intersection, so you gotta stop and you can hit them slow.
Yeah.
Just in 55 or 50 mile an hour ones, I don't like cars hit.
Yeah.
So we did have, one lady called today, Jarvis or Gardways, she thought it was a little steep, I'm gonna look at it in the morning. And see, we did know it, they're all the same, but trouble is, we go back, put more, and everybody's gonna want it. We were stretched, that road is wide, we were stretched as far as Wayne for quite a while, and had to keep braking to get over, to get it out to the edge of the street, just because we don't have the augers to get it there. He worked his butt off for quite a while. Once we got down towards Mel's Field, it wasn't too bad, but it just varies, you know, it's the way they did things back then.
Anything
I
else?
guess that's, no, that's enough.
You know what? The first 2 months you come to meetings, we were out here in 20 minutes.
I don't have to come, I was comfortable in my goal, but
Thank you, Mike.
You were mowing grass for
I did text Corey Trombley, he would like to come next meeting to bring sample, design or something to show.
Good.
So we can put him on the agenda for next meeting.
Good.
The other thing we should probably start thinking about is, hometown hero banners. I think the guys had 14 more to put up Friday. We're gonna have to start doing other streets or something. We're starting to hit every pole. Either we gotta go farther out of town or start hitting some of the village streets.
Yeah, every week I get 3 or 4 people and I send them right to Jackie, or to Jeannie and Arnold. I just send them the Facebook snaps of the 2, and like I said, I get 1 or 2 every week now.
What's easier, the village streets or going out of?
Definitely village streets are gonna be a lot easier for them.
For us, I mean, the farther they
That's
gotta
what
go
I
out
was
of
gonna
town,
do.
but, I mean,
I mean, that's still, but it's still be down in Peru.
you're getting some streets, you know.
they're all on village streets.
Yeah.
They're all
Button
on.
Brook.
Button Brook, Winding Brook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woodland, they're all, they don't have
I
poles,
think
so
they're good, they're a nice site, it's really interesting to see them.
you're
You know, a
limited.
lot of the people, I think village streets is fine by me.
I think you'll see a lot of people just traveling around.
Right.
Yeah,
The only thing is,
Your guys are
you
doing
are
a great-
doing this,
yeah.
but I tell you, they look good though.
Don't be doing it when you're doing 100 there, Steve.
I don't do that, no.
Everybody will be notified next year that yours is gonna be randomly put up.
Ones that have asked, I've been told, but that'll be put out next year.
Makes them in a bucket.
I think.
It's just, it's
I
getting
put it
too
on.
hard.
think Mr. Ryan.
And you put an article on it, it's gonna be random. It's too hard to make everyone happy with where they want them, just because you got so many. And you can't-
Right, well, they had told, both Jeannie and my wife had told them, but
Yeah.
Courtney had, tried to,
Yeah.
but.
I mean, we try to accommodate people, but it's just getting so large now.
Nice
that
night for you.
We can't.
How many are there now?
We've gotta be at 100 or over. I don't know exactly.
But your men have done a great job of that.
We've gotta be over 100. Because I think we put 80 up initially and
Yeah.
almost every Friday they're putting more up.
Very good.
Thank you, Courtney, and thank you guys for doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? Diane?
No, everything's good, thank you.
Pam?
Actually, yes, there's a few things. A while back, when we switched from New York State Insurance Fund to the carrier we have now, NYMER, we knew we would have to do a new assessment. We actually got a check back, $14,380.20.
Yeah.
Which will go back into the fund, or into the balance.
Yep.
And Ron Allen wanted to let everybody know that Sue Hager from Lake Champlain Basin Program will be inspecting wayside markers through Clinton County. She will probably be inspecting those at Hayward Mason Park, as well as the one located at the entrance to Osable Point. And she'll be looking for damage caused by weathering, vandalism, and correcting or possibly replacing damaged markers, so he just wanted to let everybody know, in case anybody saw somebody at the markers, that nobody gets upset. and
That's what they're
calls,
doing. Yep.
whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cam, where were we with Verizon?
That's the next one.
Yes. I got a price from, or Bob started it and I went through. Verizon Fios is available here at the town
That's awesome.
hall, the water sewer garage, and the highway garage. But I'm sure it's not up to the reservoir or anything, so. What it would cost is $74.99 per month for the first year. And that they would waive the installation fees. So it's cheaper than what we're paying with
Yeah,
Spectrum.
did they tell you the megabytes like they told me the other day when they were on the phone?
The what, money?
The megabytes.
Yeah, it's 900.
990.
It's nearly 1 gigabyte.
Yeah.
900 something, so it's-
96 point
It's way
two,
faster
and
than what we're.
it's fast.
for.
Fastest speed you can have right now out there.
I'll make a motion that we sign up for this.
Because
ASAP.
Mike and Courtney have been having problems
Well,
for the past 2-3
Well, you would-
weeks, right?
yeah.
With Spectrum.
So, and we have no contract with the other companies that we've been with forever, so it ain't like we're in a year or anything like that to get rid of or terminate.
You going with Spectrum?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
we're way beyond, our regular 1 year. And that's a 1 year deal, and then the guy told me for my house, I don't know if it's the same, but it's $74.99 at my house too, it's the same. Right now, they told me in a year, it will go up to $89.99, and what I will save in this, might not have anything to do with the town, I will save on my Verizon cell phones,
Yep.
and I will save $10, so $10 and $10, I will save both ways. They tell you that too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, no, not here, but I know that's the way it is. in other
Yeah.
places.
So, but if you can get it because it's a great deal.
Brian also told us that
Yeah.
we should keep both of them anyway.
We should keep both of them, but have them the primary and then have a secondary with Brian. We'll go over that with you, and what to do, but like he said, he can do a bunch of them.
So
Yeah,
I'll
they
make a
said for
motion to approve
redundancy
that.
to keep the town hall
Yep.
and the court probably for Spectrum, and then if something goes down.
At least we have one operating. So Craig made a motion to switch for our primary, to Verizon for $74.99
Yep.
per month for the first year. Who's second?
Second.
Jim second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All 5 ayes.
All right.
Start the process.
There you go.
Talk to Brian about the secondary because I don't know what that is. Anything else, Graham? Okay, Dave,
Are you ready?
Yep.
we're always
Well,
ready.
5 minutes too. 10 days ago, I got a call from CPS, Child Protective Services, out of Albany, concerning a fight at a daycare center here in Peru. There's a fight at that same place 3 months ago, the girl getting off the bus, feeding these kids. I didn't know it was a daycare center then, I didn't know until 10 days ago. I've done the investigation, had everything they wanted. Rules, everything, I sent it all to them, I faxed it to them, I got the guy that got dead, it was just a minor, but it still was a fight. He walked onto the guy's porch, walked into the house, and the dog nailed him. Well, I had him do a deposition, get it notarized, just what happened from the time he walked on the property till he left, and went to medical. I got a hold of the health department, they got all my information. This morning, I got a call from the dog owner. They went on their way to the animal hospital to have the dog put down.
Ah,
Well, when they got there, the animal hospital has a place in Beacon that takes animals like this. That's where the animal is, it's going to be in Peru. I'm not going through the court system there in Peru, I can't get through there at the time, and the way things are right now, I took care of it. If there's a problem with it, you know the remedy. Give me the relief, because you take care of it, the dog will never be here again. I did best I could.
You did really good.
CPS was satisfied with it, and so was the health center.
Well, you do a great job, Dave, and you follow through with what you do and what you say you're gonna do. We appreciate it. Anytime we call you,
I saw a lady today at 5 o'clock, and the dog is not there, and she told me what she did. I said, well, you know I'm gonna be here 2 or 3 times a week to check it anyway. I call it my hotspot.
yeah.
gotta get some mileage from Peru, there's no more.
Good job, Dave. Thank you.
New truck.
Thank you like always. Anything else, bud? John?
Just finished 2 weeks of tennis and we're on our second week of baseball.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Okay.
Yeah, numbers are a little low, but, you know, anywhere from 5 to 15 for each month, so that's not too bad.
How's soccer looking?
We have a meeting Wednesday night.
You do?
Yeah.
Good.
Jim and Rick, is that Wednesday night okay for you guys?
Yep.
Okay, 6 o'clock?
Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And this just one thing. When Carol owes you $100.
Yes.
Oh, I told you.
Take it out of his height.
Yep. Take it out my overtime.
I want that yellow lab.
Boy, me too. I want that.
Anything else, John, on no sports or anything? Okay. I had something earlier and I forgot what it was, so I think then this morning.
Jay, one quick thing, when you brought that up, Mr. Allen, in case he called you, the schoolhouse, you know, he had Randall Valley worker come down there, and they put that winter coating on, and he wanted it just to show the color he wanted for stage. Well, when he did it, it came out very dark, and Mr. Allen's upset. I called Randall Valley twice. Mr. Allen's called him several times, and he hasn't got back to him, because he wants to know what he's gonna do. I mean, is he gonna try to, it says something, Craig, maybe you could, about sandblasting it off or something?
If he showed him the color of the stain and he approved it, and then the guy put it on, there's nothing he's liable for.
But it's not the color that he said he should.
Well, I'm sure if that's, he showed him what he, the sample, you know, and you don't usually switch
You have that
from the
painting.
sample.
You have that painting one.
Maybe it looked different in the light or in the dark or something, but I don't believe anybody would switch from a sample that he showed somebody and then switch it on his own, Jim. I think he just thought it was gonna be lighter and it turned out darker.
Right. So I just wanted in case.
And I'd rather not see any more money thrown at that.
Oh, no, he's not,
He
no.
spent his whole budget on there a couple times already, and it's,
No, he doesn't want to spend.
not a big attraction,
more money.
to tell you the truth.
He would like Randy to do something
He's not
about it,
gonna
you know, but-
He had, no recourse on that I can think of, yeah.
I'm good myself tonight.
Must be like Farrell's rubbing off on you.
No, he talked, so that's good though. A lot of information, a lot of good information.
Not good.
Thank everyone for all the stuff. So we have number 11, public comments on agenda items only.
I just have a question on the AES agreement with the wastewater treatment plant. What, is that for the major upgrade that's coming, or what's that for?
Yeah, it's to keep moving forward for our disinfection requirement in 2024.
In 2024?
Right. Initially, we got a $30,000 grant for an engineering planning grant. That's been expended, but they would like to keep working a little on the project, keep it going rather than stop and wait until the year before and then try to cram everything in.
It has to be done 2024, or?
We're required to have it installed by 2024.
Wow.
We're going to try to ask for an extension. but there's
Do we
no
have,
guarantee.
do we have any other grants at all for the actual project?
Not right now. That's the other thing is the farther we're along, the better chance we have of getting grants. So that's why we want to keep the project going. The further in depth they get, when the money does come available, we'll score
It shows
higher
you're
because
ready.
we'll be ready for the money.
Okay.
Or if we don't do anything, you know, it's going to hurt our chances of getting grant funding.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
The only thing I did have, just because I had 6 people ask me about some reason, somehow someone thought I went to, on a cruise within a month, which obviously there's no cruise out there whatsoever, so I'm not sure where that came from. Mel got a text and a phone call himself about why wasn't I quarantined last month, because I went on a cruise. Everyone knows in this whole world, there's no cruises. So I am going on vacation, and on Friday. I'm headed to Connecticut for 2 days, headed to the Hamptons for 2 days, and I'm headed to Old Orchard Beach for 4 days. So that's not a cruise. But Mel got a text, I got 2 phone calls, and then there was 2 people at Stewart's the other day said, you just got back from a cruise, why are you out? And I'm like, you guys, really? There hasn't been no cruise since my March 12th cruise.
Randy, I think that was that fishing trip you went on.
Yeah, the Lake Champlain, when I took a picture of the sun coming up, they thought that was a cruise, and that's where it came from. They said I should put, beautiful morning sun lying there on Lake Champlain, but I didn't put Lake Champlain.
Whatever you do.
But just to let everyone know, obviously, there is no cruise out
Stay
there.
off that Facebook.
I'm not going to No Red State in the next week, but I am going on, like I said, I'm headed to
Just
Connecticut.
so you guys know, I did cancel my trip to Florida for fishing. And the guy caught a 42-pound grouper. I'm so jealous.
But that was the only thing I did have because it's been out there, and then Mel asked me about it the other day because he heard it and got a text on it too, but obviously unfounded, very unfounded. So other than that, we are going to need a resolution discussion. John, were you good? John?
Yep.
Okay, resolution discussion to pay the bills. I need a motion and a second.
Hey, good.
Jim Douglas? Second by Rick. Resolution Diane, please.
A resolution authorizing the post-audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in July 2020 from town of Blue Valley in July 2022, 02000752, due including 202000806, abstract dated 7/24/2020. The dollar amount totaling $163,196.86. Of that, $13,565.09 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid, and $149,631.77 is remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds the claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Okay, so any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, I need a, number 13, I need a motion discussion to adjourn to executive session. I believe no, wanted this?
Yes.
No, wanted this for a personnel issue, and
Make the motion.
and we need to invite Bob into the executive session. So, motion by Craig,
Second.
second by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No decision.